Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to set up a hamster cage on a budget, as well as some money saving tips. So let's get into it. So your first and most expensive purchase will be a hamster cage. These can run anywhere from $100 to $400+. However, if you want to save money, a great place to look is secondhand sites. Here are some amazing deals that I recently found just by scrolling on Facebook Marketplace. Bin cages can also be a great option depending on where you live. Unfortunately, in the US, there is not a bin cage over the minimum, with the exception of a Christmas tree tote that is only available around Christmas time. So now that you have your cage, let's talk about the next most important purchase. Bedding. So I recommend using aspen bedding if you are on a budget because it is about half the price of paper bedding. However, make sure you are not purchasing pine, cedar, or unlabeled shavings because while they do look similar, those beddings are not safe. Always make sure to provide at least 8 inches of bedding, 10 or more is preferable. So now let's move on to the accessories. There are 1,000,001 DIYs you can make for hamsters. This one is a multi-chamber hide that I made out of a cardboard box. This is a great item to have in an enclosure because it replicates their natural burrow systems in the wild. And you can put heavy items on top, such as a wheel. Next to your cage and bedding, a wheel is probably going to be your most expensive purchase. You may be able to find them on secondhand sites, but usually you're going to end up spending between $20 and $40 for a wheel. Now I'm going to use a dollar store container, and in that I'm going to put sand. Sand is a necessity for all hamsters, but it doesn't have to break the bank. You can purchase a 50-pound bag of children's play sand, which will last you several years for only $5 at your local hardware store. Always remember to sift and bake the sand before use though. Now we're going to add in another DIY. This is a watch box, which is similar to a multi-chamber hide, however it allows you to see your hamster. And I'm also going to use this as a platform for an additional substrate, which is just some shredded packing paper. I made this dig box myself out of some wood from the dollar store and hot glue. Here is yet another cardboard item. This is just a box converted into a tunnel. If you haven't realized already, cardboard is your best friend when creating setups on a budget. For example, here are some hides made with cardboard, children's safe paint, and popsicle sticks. As long as you're creative, you can really make anything you want for your hamster. And lastly, I added in this packing tube, and here's what the setup looks like so far. And now we're going to move on to adding enrichment. So the first thing I always like to add is hay. Hay is not a necessity for hamsters, however, I think it really adds to the natural look of the enclosure, and it is fairly inexpensive. You can find a bag of hay for about $5 at your local pet store. Now we get to add some sprays. Here I'm using oat and millet sprays, both of which can be found at your local pet store for fairly cheap. I personally think sprays are a necessity for hamster enclosures as they are a great way to provide enrichment and hamsters absolutely love them. Now finally, let's discuss hamster food. While I personally think you shouldn't skimp on your hamster's food, if you are on a budget, Higgins Sunburst is going to be your best option. It is the best commercial seed mix in the US, and one $8 bag will last one hamster about 6 months. However, if you can, I would recommend upgrading to a species-specific seed mix with more variety. This is the Gitsu Syrian hamster food, which I'm going to sprinkle all around the hamster's enclosure. Scattering their food is a very easy way to provide them with way more enrichment. Now we're going to move on to boredom breakers, which are another cheap and easy way to provide enrichment. You can take an egg carton and fill it with seed mix and toilet paper or hay to allow your hamster to forage for their own food. If you're like me, you have a whole drawer dedicated to toilet rolls because of the amount of ways they can be used for hamster boredom breakers. This boredom breaker involves closing one end of the tube, stuffing it with toilet paper and seed mix, and closing the other end. This is a super simple way to keep your hamster occupied and busy. Lastly, you can take some toilet paper, rip it up, and have your hamster use it as nesting material. I'd especially recommend this if you have aspen bedding because it can be a little on the pokier side, and this will ensure your hamster's nest is lined with a safe and cozy material. And finally, as a little bonus tip that I get comments on all the time, you can use a fish net instead of a strainer to clean your hamster's sand. A so likely only save you a couple bucks, but I personally prefer using a fish net over a strainer due to their small size and flexible material. So this is what the final setup looks like. I hope this video showed you that you can provide your hamster with a good life even if you have a small budget. Always make sure before buying any pet though that you have enough money for their needs as well as any emergency situations such as vet bills. At the end of the day, these can help, but hamsters will still cost you money no matter what. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I had a ton of fun making it. Let me know what tip you liked the most, and let me know your budget saving tips in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye!